Hey everybody, Frogman 405 here. Today I'm going to do another quick video to follow up on the tips I gave a couple of videos back on how to get more accuracy out of your shooting, especially for beginner shooters. And I'm going to be using Independence 115 grain full metal jacket, 9mm. Got this a little while ago. I'm going to test it out, see how good it is, see if we have any malfunctions or whatnot. But again, we're going to focus on grip, trigger pull, and sight picture. This actually should be grip, sight picture, and trigger pull. And I want to add in a stance. Now there's two stances that are pushed a lot. The Weaver stance and the isosceles. I'm somewhere in between, I like a little bit of both. I mean, what I practice for is something happening on the street, concealed carry. So I'm going to be in more of a fighting stance, a ready position, on guard in other words. So I'm going to be facing my adversary, the bad guy, and in case he closes distance very quickly before I can draw on him, I need to be able to fight. I need to be able to fight him off so I can pull my weapon and defend myself. So I'll get into that in a few minutes. I'm getting set up here, and then we'll go. I want to do a quick shout out to two of my buddies from Jiu-Jitsu, Sierra Juliet and Tango Mike. That's not their real names, but both those guys are pretty badass when it comes to jiu-jitsu. Anyway, shout out to you guys. All right, stand by. We're gonna get this going again and have a little bit of fun at the end. All right, everybody, here we go. I'm gonna start. I'm gonna give you give you those tips. Try to keep them as short and as simple as possible, because I believe, especially when you're first starting out or you're a moderate shooter, you don't shoot much, it's very important to keep it simple. Remember the basics. So important. And these three steps, I mean, they will make a world of difference, and you need to focus and think about them each and every time as you're doing them. All right, the first thing we're going to focus on is going to be our grip, okay? I'm not gorilla gripping my pistol, but I have a good firm grip. I have a good wrap. My thumb is on the frame. I'm going to take my supporting hand and I'm going to fill this gap right here with the heel of my hand. I want as much of my hands on my pistol for support, and that's going to help with recoil. My supporting hand thumb is going to be, for me, it's going to be pressed up against the frame right here towards the front of the pistol. My strong hand, my shooting hand thumb is going to be pushing down on the top of my thumb, like so. The heel of my hand is on the pistol grip as much as I can get it, and my shooting hand is wrapped all the way around, and I have a good firm grip. And then my supporting hand, I wrap around my fingers for support, okay? So there's the grip. Next is going to be sight picture, and it's going to be difficult for me to show you, so I'm going to explain as best I can. When I pick up my target, I'll be looking, I'm bringing my weapon up, and I'm focusing on my front sight. I already know where my target is. It's going to be right there in front of me. So as I'm bringing my weapon and pushing it out, I'm focusing on my front sight. My target is already there. So my target's going to be a little bit blurry in my sight picture. My rear sights are going to be a little bit blurry. My front sight is going to be crystal clear. It's going to be clear as day. And I'm going to line my front sight up with my rear sight as best I can. And practice makes perfect. It's going to be a lot of muscle memory after a lot of shooting. So you're going to, as you come up, it's going to be almost there. You just got to fine tune it, the more experience you get. Then the last part of the equation for me is trigger pull. All right, for me, I'm going to be pressing my trigger or pulling it straight back with this part of my finger here. It's above the first knuckle, okay? Somewhere, I'd say a third up the tip of my finger. I'm going to be pulling back, straight back as best I can, okay? If I have too much finger in it, it's going to throw it off to one side. If I have not enough, it's going to pull it off to one side. So you have to remember to get your trigger and press it straight back with this part of your finger, okay? The pad right here. I'm just above the crease, okay? And that's comfortable for me. But right in that area, you know, everyone's different, everyone's hands are different. You're gonna have to play with it a little bit, but that is what works best, okay? And then stance, I told you about that. I'm gonna be in a more of an aggressive fighting stance. I don't wanna be too parallel where my feet are both parallel to my target, because with recoil or if the bad guy closes distance really quickly, I will be off balance very easily. You can just push me and I'll go back. So I'll be in my fighting stance. I'm righty, so my left foot's a little bit forward, my right's a little bit back, my knees are bent, and I'm ready. I could punch if I want, I could elbow if I want. But this is where I'm comfortable. I'm just leaning in a little bit, and I'm going to bring my weapon up and squeeze. And as I'm doing all this, I'm focusing in my head. I'm thinking each step. As I'm pulling my weapon out, I'm focusing on grip. Then I'm picking up my front sight, lining it up, focusing on my front sight. Again, my target's going to be blurry a little bit, and my rear sight's going to be a little bit blurry. And then as I'm doing that, I'm also squeezing the trigger straight back. Sometimes in the beginning, for shooters, I always tell them, look, let it surprise you when it goes off, because you're going to pull it back slow and even. And when it surprises you, if you're focusing on the front side, keeping it lined up, you're going to hit the target where you're aimed at, okay? And then after a while, you're going to get used to that pressure, whatever weapon you're using. You know, you're going to get used to that trigger pressure, how much you need to use to pull it back, okay? So, all right, everybody. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go back to about the 7-yard line, and I'm going to walk you through it, okay? I'm going to do it nice and slow and talk you through what I'm thinking, what I'm doing, over and over, okay? And that's the way it should be. Each time you're getting ready to take a shot, I want you to focus on grip, sight picture, trigger pull, you know, and each time, grip, sight picture, trigger pull, and make sure you're comfortable in your stance, okay? I prefer the more aggressive stance, fighting stance. Some of you may not. Whatever you're comfortable with. I don't believe in what a lot of guys, you know, they say, oh, this is the way you have to do it. This is the way it's done. Well, maybe for them, you know. I've had a lot of experience, and I've been to a lot of different training situations, and everybody's different. And you know what? I think comfort is important, okay? Safety is the most important, of course. All right, here we go. All right, I'm pulling my pistol out. As I'm pulling it out, I'm focusing on making sure I can get a good grip, firm grip. My thumbs are on the frame. Well, I'm picking up my front sight. It's blurry, and I'm focusing on my trigger pull, where my pad, the top pad of my finger is. All right, I just took the shot. I'm bringing my weapon up again, focusing on my front sight, my grip, my trigger pull. Look at that, right through the same hole, because I'm doing the same exact thing over. I'm really focusing now. Grip, front sight, trigger pull. I'm back in my ready position, getting comfortable. Grip, bringing my weapon up, picking up my front sight, it's clear, my rear is blurry, target is slightly blurry, pulling the trigger. I'm back in my ready position. Same thing. Grip. Pick up my front sight. It's clear. My target behind me is blurry. I'm pulling the trigger. Boom. Back in my ready position. Here we go again. Up. I'm focusing on my grip. Focusing on my front sight. Trigger pull. Boom. Grip. Front sight. Trigger pull. Grip. Front sight. Trigger pull. Grip, front sight, trigger pull. All right, as you can see, not bad. I'm just pulling it down a little bit. But anyway, I just wanted you guys to see and hear what I'm thinking and doing. And to me, it's very important that you are using your brain. You're thinking about exactly what you're doing, okay? Just practice those 3 steps and throw in the stance, a comfortable stance. Aggressive stance for me is comfortable. And practice, practice, practice. To me, that's key. You know, spend money on training. You know, take some good training classes. There's plenty of them out there. The more you practice, the better you'll be, especially in a serious situation, because the basics are the only thing you're going to remember. All right, stand by. I got a surprise. I'm going to set it up for you. Hold on. All right. Some of you know what's going to happen here. You see that little target at the bottom. I'm going to do my best to hit it right on target. See how this works. Stand by. Wow. I didn't think it was going to work with a 9mm, but it did. Let's go take a closer look. Wow. Can you see that? Just a nice hole. Anyway, I got fragged a little bit. Nah, just kidding. Anyway, listen, I appreciate everybody, all you subscribers. Please like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate all your questions and comments. If you want to see something, let me know. I'm working on some other things. It just takes a little bit of time. Anyway, I hope I was able to help somebody. Remember, just keep it simple. Those 3 steps. Get some training out there. Go to some good training classes. Spend your money on ammo and training, okay? Because that's what's going to save your life in a serious situation. Not a high-speed, low-drag, $1,500 pistol. Anyway, Frogman 405 out.